My name's Angela, and usually, I've been gone for a couple weeks, but I usually do story time here every Thursday at 10:30. We also have story times on Wednesdays. So I have a special friend here today. This is Ferrie.
Hello.
And Chris, so I get to be a storyteller, but Chris's job, he's a scientist. I think he's a physicist.
That's right.
You put ist on stuff. So he does really different kinds of work than I do. And he's also, though, so he's a scientist and he's an author. So he has written lots of cool books for kids your age. This one's called Goodnight Lab, and it looks a lot like a book. Does this look like a book that you know? What does it look like?
I don't know.
But you've maybe read a book like this before. And all of these super science books for super little people, like this one, Quantum Physics for Babies. So Chris is going to tell us about his books today, but I'm going to be here to help out because he doesn't know about all our awesome storytime songs. So there's definitely going to be some storytime songs, so I'm going to help with that. But the first thing we like to do with storytime after announcements is we like to say hello to everybody. And there's a little more, you can scoot on in. Other good thing to know, who here is totally nice? Raise your hand if you're a totally nice person. So totally nice. All right, so it's totally okay to sit really close to anybody else here because we're all really nice. We're good friends. So we're gonna sing our hello song and say hello to each other. And in our hello song, there's some special moves we're gonna do. Can you guys wave your hands? Wave hello, very nice. Can you clap your hands? Let's try that out. Good, keep clapping. Can we all clap together? Good, okay. And in our hello song, we're going to touch our noses. Can you find your nose? Right there in the middle of your face. All right, and then we get to the end of the hello song, and we're gonna say hello one more time. We'll wave. But by the end of the hello song, I'm usually feeling super friendly, so I like to wave really fast with two hands. Can you wave really fast with two hands? Excellent. All right, here we go. So we'll all sing it together. This is how it goes. This is the way we say hello, say hello, say hello. This is the way we say hello at every story time. This is the way we clap our hands, clap our hands, clap our hands. This is the way we clap our hands at every story time. This is the way we touch our nose, touch our nose, touch our nose. This is the way we touch our nose at every story time. Are you ready? This is the way we say hello, say hello, say hello. This is the way we say hello at every story time. All right, fabulous. Give yourselves, that was wonderful. Welcome to story time. All right, now we're gonna practice again being super quiet. And we're gonna hear some cool books from Chris. Ready?
Sure.
All right.
Okay,
Can I sit by
great. Let me move this back so everyone can see. So I'll start with this one. And I wrote this book because my favorite book when I was growing up and my favorite book to read to my daughter was Goodnight Moon. But I noticed something a little bit strange in that we didn't have a bedroom like that, and I didn't spend a lot of my time in a bedroom and saying goodnight to combs and bowls of mush and things like that. I spend my time in a lab. And so I wanted to introduce my daughter and everyone to the things in the lab, and then we'll say goodnight to them. Goodnight Lab. In the great green lab, there was a laser and a lab notebook and a picture of Einstein with a stern look. You know that guy? Have you seen that guy before? Yeah. And there were 3 sticky notes. You see them? No? 1, 2, 3. Stuck to lab coats. And we have some weird stuff in here. A copper wire and a pair of pliers and a spectrometer and a thermometer. Maybe you have one of those at home.
Yeah.
You have one of those at home? Yeah? You're halfway to a lab. And a pen, and my favorite thing, a coffee, and some crumpled rubbish, and uh-oh, a grumpy old professor shouting, "Publish!" Does that look like me? Not yet. Next time I come, I might look just like that. Goodnight Lab. Goodnight Laser. Goodnight Einstein with a stern look. Goodnight Light and the lab notebook. There it is right there. Goodnight Sticky Notes. Goodnight Lab Coats. Goodnight ammeter. Goodnight voltmeter. Goodnight to the thermometer. And goodnight spectrometer. Goodnight pen. And goodnight rubbish. And good night to the grumpy old professor shouting, "Publish!" Good night, liquid nitrogen. Good night, compressed air. Good night, scientists everywhere. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you guys like that. So this was the first book I wrote, and this is the kind of research that I do. I do research in quantum physics. So I do that in Sydney, Australia. And I actually wrote this book when I lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, about 5 years ago. And I wrote it for my daughter when she was very young, to try to show her what I did for a living. So it starts. This is a ball. This ball has energy. Can you see it? Where's the energy? Yeah, it looks like a sun, doesn't it? And here's another ball. And see this ball? It's sitting on the ground. So it doesn't have any energy.
Is everybody here sitting? Can you sit on the ground just like a ball with no energy? No, more still, be more still, right? And quiet.
And if we got a microscope out and we looked closer and closer and closer and closer, we would find that all balls are made of atoms. And I'm made of atoms, and you're made of atoms. Everything in the world is made of atoms. And inside of an atom are even smaller things. There are neutrons. Can everyone say neutrons?
Neutrons.
Those are in the middle, and there's something else in the middle. Protons. Can everyone say protons?
Protons.
Protons. So they're sitting there in the middle. And the things that have all the fun are the things that are outside, going around. These are called electrons. Can everyone say electrons?
Electrons.
So there's something very special about electrons. An electron can be here, or it can be here. Can you think of another place, maybe? Can you think of another place it could be? So it can be here, or here, where else? Yeah, right there. So it can be up there. So it can be on those lines, but it can't be there. An electron can't be there between the lines. And it can't be down there with the protons and neutrons. So electrons, they all have energy. See the energy? Yeah? And the one up here at the top, it has the most energy. And the one down here near the bottom has the least energy. But there are no electrons with zero energy. Okay? So they're all excited all the time, just like you guys. And so physicists they gave that a special name. They said that energy is quantized. Can everyone say quantized?
Quantized.
So an electron here,
That's okay.
it can take energy. There's some energy coming in, and it takes it, and it jumps up. Okay. And it must give energy up. There it is. It gave away some energy, and it falls down. Okay? And that's a very, very specific amount of energy. Same amount of energy every time. And it's called a quantum. Quantum. And now you're all quantum physicists.
So, the one thing quantum physicists can do is help with rocket ships and space travel. So quantum physicists can help us with space travel. And the thing we mostly use for space travel right now is a rocket. And so I have a song about a rocket. Do you guys know the song I'm a Little Teapot? Yeah? So this song is like I'm a little teapot. Does someone say no? It goes like this. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. So that's the song, but this is a different version about a rocket ship. And so you might need, there might be enough room. We'll sit down when we're done, but you might need to stand up to do this song. So everybody stand up and wiggle your whole body for 3, 2, 1, stop. Oh, good. You did a good job. Okay, let's try again, everybody. We're going to wiggle. 3, 2, 1, stop. Perfect. All right, here we go. Goes like this. I'm a little rocket, tall and thin. Put your hands really close, make yourself really skinny. This is my nose cone. This is my nose cone. These are my fins. Stick them down to the side, see? Fins. And then when I get all fired up, so we're gonna squish down low. When I get all fired up, launch begins. Now we're gonna, this is the tricky part. We're gonna rise up and spin around. Watch me rise and see me spin. And then, rockets, when we get back down to Earth, we have to parachute slowly down. Perfect. All right, are you ready to sing it all together? Here we go. Ready? Set. I'm a little rocket, tall and thin. This is my nose cone. These are my fins. When I get all fired up, launch begins. Watch me rise and see me spin.
Angela, why did you get?
Is everybody parachuted? All right. Are we ready? Just one sec, Natalie. Should we read another book? Maybe about rocket science? Just want to learn how to make a rocket go? Okay, hold on. Come on, sit down. We're going to listen to Chris. Chris is going to read Rocket Science for Babies.
Well, that was fun. Yeah. Well, it's for everyone, really.
That's kind of a long story.
Okay.
I'll tell you after
So this one
time.
starts the same way. This is a ball. See, I drew a little arrow on the ball to show you that it's moving. And what happens when you move? Can you feel something when you run really fast or you're on the swing? What do you feel on your face? The air.
If you waved your hand back.
Yeah. See, the air, it can't go through the ball. Okay? It has to go around the ball. So I drew the air, and it's going to go around the ball. Okay? And if we change the shape, the way the air moves also changes. Yeah? And if we change the way it's pointing, what does that look like?
A raindrop.
Yeah, people tell me that looks like a raindrop. Look at this now. The air is being deflected. That means it's being pushed down. Okay? And if the air goes down, what's going to happen to the shape? It's going to go up. Yeah, so this shape is pushing the air down, and that means the air is going to go up. And that upward force has a name. It's called lift. Can everyone say lift? Lift. Okay, that is actually the shape of an airplane wing. So what happens when I throw a ball? Does it go up in the air or does it fall to the ground? Yeah, falls to the ground. But what happens to an airplane? Where does it go? It goes up. So the ball has no lift, but the wing has lift. But we need a way to make the wing go forward. So what will we do with it? Where will we put it? Put it on maybe a rocket ship. And inside that rocket ship is fuel. And fuel, yeah. And if we push the fuel out of the rocket will go forward. Okay? And the faster we push the fuel out, the faster the rocket will go. And so we're going to do something with that fuel. We're going to make it, we're going to make it explode out of that rocket. And that gives the rocket a force we call thrust. So can everyone say thrust? Thrust. And with lift and thrust, we can go to the moon. Now you are a rocket scientist.
All right, well, you're in luck that you're all rocket scientists, because since you're all rocket scientists, we can, in fact, go to the moon. So we are going to sing Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. And so I think sitting down is probably the best way to do this. But so if you're a big kid, there's a little bit of a different part. If you're a baby, there's a little bit of a different part. First thing we're going to do in Zoom, 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 hold your hands together just like this. And we're going to zoom them one off the other. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Very good. So we'll do that a couple times. Then the tricky part. Hold your hand up and down. And take 2 fingers from your other hand. And you're going to walk your fingers up this arm, because this arm is a rocket ship that's on the ground. It goes, if you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. And then we'll zoom again. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Now this is the most important part, you guys. Lift off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! And so when we blast off, we will definitely want to, if you have a baby, you can swoop them up. They'll probably like that. But if you're a big kid and your legs are working okay, you can blast yourself off into the atmosphere. Let's practice blasting off again one more time. Ready? Lift off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! All right, I think we're ready. Should we sing it together? Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Lift off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! All right. Should we do it? Could we? So I was trying to pay attention to the rocket science book, and it sounded like if we had more fuel, more energy, then we could maybe do things faster.
Right.
Is that right?
Yep.
We can make a bigger explosion. So I'm wondering if anyone has more energy and would like to sing Zoom, Zoom, Zoom faster. You think we should try and sing it faster? Maybe at rocket speed? Yeah? Okay. Ready? You ready? 2. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going going to the moon. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Lift off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Oh, that was great. But Chris, what would happen if we didn't have very much fuel? What would happen if we only had an itty bitty 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 tiny bit of fuel?
We'd probably have to do it slowly.
We'd have to go slower. Maybe in slow motion.
Yeah.
We get into black holes for babies. Okay, and, all right, so I think this time, we're going to the moon, but we only have a teeny tiny bit of fuel. This might not actually follow via rocket science. Teeny tiny bit of fuel. We'll go really slowly. Here we go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. We can do this part fast. Lift off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Blast off!
All right, give yourselves a round of applause. I think we are just about at the end of story time here. Chris, we've got lots of his others. There's even more Science for Babies books here. Lots of copies of Goodnight Lab if you would like to get one today. That would be awesome. We always appreciate your support of our independent bookstore. Chris will be happy to he'll be signing books over here. And because it's story time, we will say the goodbye poem and then I can give you all a stamp because it wouldn't be story time without a rocket stamp. But first we're gonna have to say the goodbye poem. It's very important. In the goodbye poem, we touch the clouds, reach up high, touch the clouds. Touch up clouds, oh, they're way up high, higher, stretch up higher, touch the clouds. Touch your clouds, yes, just like that. And touch your toes, reach down low, touch your toes. Touch your toes. All right, turn around. We're gonna turn around 3 times together. Here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3. Touch your nose. Are you dizzy? Ready? Okay. Most importantly, we squish down low and pop up high. We better try that again. Squish down low. Pop up high. My shoelace. Oh no. I'll be very careful. Ready? Squish down low. Pop up high. Squish. Pop.
Oh, I can't
Squish.
keep up.
Pop. Yeah. Don't pop too high. Okay, one more big one. Squish down low. And pop up high. Story time is over, so we say goodbye. Thank you all so much for coming. It's been wonderful. Chris, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And I can hook you up with a stamp if you would like to try your